Yep.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, you are dispatched to the report of a 40-year-old man that has fallen off of a roof.
40-year-old man who has fallen off of a roof. Okay, so we're going to go out on our way. Do we get any updates and stuff as we're headed out?
Yeah, he was working on one of the new buildings over by the Thornton exit, and he's working by himself, and he fell about 20 plus feet off of the roof.
Okay, so did he call it in himself?
Yeah, he called it himself.
Cool. So we're out by the Thornton exit, so it'll be a little bit till we get out there.
And then your battalion chief beats you there and lets you know that there's an obvious open fracture on the lower leg, as well as bleeding on the face.
Cool. Okay, so we'll show up. And you said this was a 40-year-old male?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we show up on scene. We're going to be looking, are there any immediate threats to us that we notice? Is our scene safe?
Yeah, your scene's safe. The building's mostly done. He fell far enough away from the roof that he's just in the dirt.
Nice work on his part. Appreciate you. All right, so we're going to show up on scene, start talking to the patient, trying to figure out what happened, get a name and all that. Is he ANO times 4? Is he answering all my questions appropriately?
He's ANO times 4. He's grown a little bit, but he's fairly calm. He's got some blood on his face, as well as an obvious open fracture on his lower left leg.
Lower left leg. Okay. So doing this trauma, we're gonna do a quick, rapid, kind of immediate assessment. So is there any major life threats we know? He has bleeding on his face. Does this a major arterial bleed that we need to worry about right this very second?
No, this is something you could in the ambulance take care of with some 4x4s.
Okay. Cool. And then so moving down, is he complaining of any major back pain?
Nothing major, but he does have some sensitivity and a little bit of pain in his back and neck as you're assessing that.
And how how high up is this roof that he fell off?
22 feet.
22 feet. Okay.
Landed on his. He tells you guys that he landed on his feet.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. The broken leg. All right. So with this guy, I think best plan for him is he kind of needs to go to a hospital. And so, as long as he's cool with that, I think we'll probably roll him up, slide a board under there, and as we have him kind of rolled up and supported, we'll palpate the back, see if there's any spots there that are noticeable that are problem spots. Do we notice any big problems in his spine?
No obvious deformities. There's just pain and tenderness along there.
Okay.
So he's keeping his head pretty still and pretty straight.
Okay. Sounds good. So we can kind of roll him back on gently on that board. We'll throw a seat collar on him and get him up, get him into the ambulance.
Okay.
I'm going to take a closer look now since we weren't noticing any major life-threatening bleeding. What's his breathing and that kind of jazz like? I know his airway's patent because he's been talking to me and stuff.
It's a little bit accelerated, but his stats look fairly normal. He's a little bit tachycardic and 110. His blood pressure's a little bit elevated, but he's surprisingly calm for what just happened.
Okay. Well, that's good then. So, especially because he's been surprisingly calm, as you say, for this. One thing I would like to do is looking at his eyeballs. Do I notice anything with his pupils?
No, they're good.
Okay, they look normal.
Pearl.
Okay, cool. Just because of his calmness, I'm wondering if there's some sort of substance involved.
He tells you guys he used to be a nurse, and so he's familiar with these situations.
So he ain't screwed.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at that ankle, you said it's obvious open fracture.
Yep, you can see the entirety of his medium malleus on the outer ankle was sticking out. Looks like his foot's about to fall off.
Sick. Love it. So we'll get headed to the hospital. I'm gonna take him to Ermac.
Okay.
It's trauma. We're gonna splint that up as best we can just to support it. What kind of pain is our homie in?
He's 6 or 7.
6 or 7 out of 10?
Yep.
How big is he?
He's probably 5'10", 210 pounds.
Okay. So a normal sized human being.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll have that splinted. Did that relieve any of his pain at all? Or not really?
It doesn't hurt too bad putting the splint on. It helps stabilize it, yeah.
Sounds good. Support it. So we'll get IV. We'll get... we can give him a little bit of fluid. Nothing too crazy, though. But we'll give him some pain medicine. We can try 50 or 100 of fentanyl. See how that helps him as we're going down to Ermac.
How much are you doing?
For him, I'd say we'll give him just 50 to start off with. Because for how calm he seems to be, I don't think he's not screaming his head off or anything. So I say we can try the 50, see how that goes.
Yeah.
And if not, then we can give him some more.
That seems to help curb it. He's still in a little bit of pain, but it helps kind of calm it down. Mainly he's just a little bit sensitive as you're going throughout your assessment is when it hurts worse.
Okay, when we touch things.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. So as we're going down there, we're going to be doing some we're going to continue our thorough assessment. I want to get a sugar on him as well.
Sugar's normally 84.
Okay, cool. We'll get like a history as we're talking to him, like medical history, any medications that he's taken.
No significant medical
allergies.
history, no allergies to any meds, and
Okay,
no major medications you have
Cool.
to be worried about.
sweet. And so all while that's happening, I'm going to be going through the rest of his body, doing kind of a more detailed trauma assessment, seeing if there's any deformities, any pain in other spots, just so that we know and that we're aware.
Yep, you find out, so you splinted the obvious deformity. His other lower leg and ankle area is also very sensitive, but there's no obvious fractures or deformities, but there's quite a bit of pain.
Quite a bit of pain, any swelling and stuff there.
There's some swelling too, yeah.
Okay. So then we can keep going through. We'll be listening to lung sounds and stuff, all that jazz, listening to his heart.
Lungs are clear. Heart
Cool.
sounds good.
Sweet. And so we can clean up his face just a little bit, try to make that a little bit nicer for him. We'll keep it decently warm in the back of the ambulance. Nothing like super crazy hot. But yeah, as we're going, we'll just continue monitoring, give him additional doses of pain medication as needed. I'm thinking other medications and stuff that we could give him as well. With an open injury like that, I don't think that Ansef would be contraindicated. So we could give him that. It'd be 1 gram over like 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then, so as we're driving down, I'll call Ermac as well, let them know we're coming in. And so phone report for this one, we'd be letting them know. I'd be wanting to call it earlier because this is a trauma.
Okay.
I'd call this a partial trauma, just given the mechanism. And so I'd let them know that we have a 40-year-old male fell off of a 22 or 20-ish foot roof. We have an obvious deformity to the lower left leg ankle area, pain in the lower right leg, pain along the spine. I'll give them an update on our vitals, make sure that they know this is a partial trauma.
Vitals are still fairly normal. They're
Okay.
slightly elevated from just the stress and pain, but they look good.
But yeah, so all in all, I feel like it'd be a relatively simple report. If they have any questions, I can give them some more updates. But really, we're just going to continue monitoring, try to keep his pain relatively under control, make sure that nothing changes, make sure that nothing gets any worse. And then we'll get to Ermac, slide him on over, and that's that.
When you get to Ermac, his wife will